Sonia stepped closer to me. "We have the recording hold confirmation from your county," she said. "Good timing." I handed over Denise's paperwork. Sonia scanned it quickly, then looked up. "This will help our legal team," she said. "Now, watch this." She turned Martin's monitor slightly. I clicked into an internal log and pulled up a time-stamped event list tied to the refinance file. "Your parents didn't just show up with papers," Sonia said. "They used a bank employee pathway." My throat tightened, meaning someone inside pushed it. "Or someone inside was tricked," she corrected, and then she clicked another tab that made Martin's jaw harden. "Employee Station ID," Sonia read, "and the login used to accept the packet." She turned the screen just enough for me to see a name line. No personal data, just the identifier. "Loan associate, Kevin Rourke," she said. Martin's mouth tightened. "He's new," he murmured. "Transferred in 2 months ago." Sonia's voice stayed flat. "He accepted the packet under standard review," she said, and the closer listed, Marla Keene, was entered as the facilitator. Martin leaned back slightly. Which shouldn't have passed," he said. "Correct," Sonia replied. Then she clicked again. Martin froze. "What?" I asked. Sonia pointed at a line in the log. "A release attempt," she said. "Someone attempted to push the wire out this morning." My skin prickled. "From where?" Sonia tapped the screen. "Internal override request," she said. "Submitted from a desk station in the lobby." My mouth went dry. "While I was at the county?" "Yes," Sonia said. "And it was denied because the fraud hold is active." Martin looked up at me. "They didn't come here to negotiate," he said quietly. "They came here to apply pressure while trying to slip the wire out through staff." My chest tightened, but my voice stayed calm. "So they're trying to exploit a person, not a system." Sonia nodded once. Exactly." Then Dana, security, stepped into the office without knocking. "They're escalating," she said calmly. "Marla is demanding to speak to someone higher. Your mother is crying. Your father is telling customers you're ill." I didn't blink. "And?" I asked. Dana's eyes flicked to Sonia's monitor. "And we just got a call from another branch," she said. "Same closer name, same packet style, different property." Martin's face tightened. "Another property," he repeated. Dana nodded once. "They're running multiple files," she said. "Or trying to." Sonia's posture sharpened instantly. "That means pattern," she said. Martin looked at me, voice low. "Ms. Hale," he said, "if this is a pattern tied to coastal signings and Marla Keene, we're not just canceling your refinance." He paused, eyes hard. "We're reporting it." I nodded once. "Eyes good," I said. Dana glanced toward the door. "They just asked if you're here," she said quietly. I stood up slowly, folder in my hands, and felt the strange calm that comes right before a confrontation you didn't start. "Tell them nothing," I said. Sonia's eyes stayed on mine. "We can also call police," she said, "if they refuse to leave or intimidate staff." "Do it," I said. And right as Sonia reached for her phone, my own phone buzzed with a new notification from Harbor Point's app, an alert I'd never seen before. "Account profile change requested. Mailing address update. Pending approval." I stared at the screen, then looked up at Martin. "They're trying to change my mailing address," I said calmly. Martin's face went flat. "To hide the paper trail," he said. "And in the lobby." And I heard my mother's voice rise, sweet and loud, like she was announcing something to an audience. "I'm her mother," she said. "I'm just trying to protect her." Sonia's phone was already in her hand. "Police are on the way," she said. Martin clicked one more screen and his eyes narrowed. "Ms. Hale," he said quietly. "The address change request was submitted from inside the branch." My skin went colder, because that meant my parents weren't just pressuring the system. They were already inside it. Martin didn't look away from the screen. He just stared at the audit line that said the address change request was submitted from inside the branch, and the air in his office tightened like someone had closed a door. Sonia didn't react emotionally. She reacted operationally. "Open the event details," she said. Martin clicked. A deeper log expanded. Station ID, employee login, timestamp, and a short internal note field. Sonia leaned closer. "Read it," she said. Martin's voice went flat. "Mailing address update request," he read. "Submitted at 11:18 a.m. Station L-front-3. Login, K. Rourke. Kevin, the new loan associate." My hand stayed still on my folder, but my stomach turned. "Kevin did it," I said calmly. Sonia didn't jump to conclusions. "Kevin's credentials did it," she corrected. Dana, still standing by the door, said quietly, "Front 3 is the lobby desk closest to the brochure rack." Martin's mouth tightened. "That's where Kevin sits." Sonia looked at Dana. "Pull the camera angle on that station," she said. Dana didn't ask why. She stepped out, and a minute later she came back with her tablet already on a live replay, and she set it on Martin's desk and scrubbed to the timestamp, 11:18. The lobby feed showed the front desk area from above. Kevin was visible at first, leaning toward his monitor, shoulders tense, then stepping away, walking toward the printer, reaching for paper. Then Marla Keene stepped into frame. She didn't look lost. She didn't hesitate. She moved like she knew exactly what to do with a bank workstation. She leaned in close behind the counter, angled her body so the lobby couldn't see her hands, and reached toward Kevin's keyboard. My skin prickled. "She's at his station," I said. Sonia's jaw tightened slightly. "Keep going," she said to Dana. Dana scrubbed forward a few seconds. On the feed, Marla's hand moved. Click, click, type, type. Then she stepped back as Kevin returned, holding printed pages. Kevin sat down, and Marla smiled at him like she'd just handed him something he didn't want to hold. Martin's face went tight. "So the address change wasn't my parents'," he said. "It was Marla using an employee station." Sonia didn't blink. "It could be both," she said. "They can pressure him while she does the work." My phone buzzed again in my bag, but I didn't reach for it. I didn't want to give the lobby the satisfaction of seeing me flinch. Dana touched her earpiece. "Police just arrived," she said calmly. Sonia's gaze flicked to Martin. "Let them in through the side," she said. "Keep this contained." Martin nodded and stood. "Stay here," he said to me, "for your safety." "I'm not hiding," I replied quietly. Sonia met my eyes. "You're not hiding," she said. "You're controlling exposure. There's a difference." Before I could respond, we heard it through the glass, voices rising in the lobby sharp enough to carry. My mother. "I'm her mother," she said in that bright, sweet tone she uses when she's trying to sound harmless. "My daughter is confused. She's overworked. She's—" A deeper voice cut in, calm and firm. An officer. "Ma'am," he said, "I'm going to need you to lower your voice." My father's voice followed, low and certain. "This is ridiculous," he said. "We have documents. We have authorization. We're here to resolve a mistake." Resolve a mistake. He meant extract a wire. Sonia turned to Dana. "Get the footage and print the log," she said. "I want it ready." Dana nodded once and moved. Martin opened his office door and stepped out. Sonia motioned for me to stay inside the glass room, away from the main sightline, but close enough to hear the record being made. In the next few minutes felt like watching a storm through a window. Martin spoke with the officer in a controlled tone. My mother cried softly on command. My father kept repeating, "Authorized," like it was a spell. And Marla didn't cry at all. She leaned in close to the counter, jaw tight, eyes sharp, trying to force urgency into the staff. Then the officer's voice rose slightly, still calm, just louder so it would land. "Who is the account holder?" he asked. My mother answered too fast. She is, she said, gesturing vaguely, but she can't handle these matters. That's why we— Ma'am, the officer said, cutting her off, I didn't ask who you think can handle it. I asked who owns the property. My father's tone sharpened. Our daughter, he said, Tessa Hale. Sonia looked at me. That's your cue, she said quietly. Short, clean. I stepped out of the office and into the hallway, then into the lobby sightline. My parents' heads snapped toward me instantly like they'd been waiting to pounce. My mother's face lit up with fake relief. Tessa, she gasped. Thank God, tell them. Tell them we were just helping. I didn't look at her. I looked at the officer. My name is Tessa Hale, I said calmly, and held up my ID. I did not authorize any refinance. I did not sign any documents. My signature was forged. The officer took my ID, glanced at it, then looked at Martin. You called her, he said. Yes, Martin replied, because the signature doesn't match, and because the file triggered compliance alerts. My father stepped forward half a pace. This is a family misunderstanding, he said, voice low and firm. We were acting on her behalf. She's stressed. I didn't react. I reached into my folder and pulled out the county paperwork, just the top page. The recorder's office placed a hold on my parcel, I said to the officer. 2 fraudulent instruments were submitted for recording through an e-recording credential tied to Coastal Signings, LLC. Submitter contact, Marla Keene. Marla's head snapped toward me. Not fear, anger, like I'd stolen her timing. That's not what that means, Marla said quickly, stepping closer. It's a routine submission. Sometimes borrowers get nervous and— The officer turned his head toward her. Ma'am, he said evenly, who are you? Marla smiled like she'd practiced it in a mirror. Marla Keene, she said. Closing facilitator. I'm here to help resolve— Are you an employee of this bank? The officer asked. No, Marla said, still smiling. Then you don't get to resolve anything at their counter, the officer replied, tone unchanged. Step back. My mother's voice rose again. Officer, please, she said, tears already built into it. My daughter is unstable. She doesn't understand what she's doing. The officer didn't even look at her this time. He looked at Martin. Where's your compliance officer? He asked. Sonia stepped forward beside Martin like a shadow turning solid. Sonia Park, she said. Compliance. The officer nodded once. You have evidence this was forged, he said. Yes, Sonia replied. Signature mismatch. Cash-out disbursement wired to a beneficiary connected to the parents. Attempted wire release. Attempted address change, submitted from inside the branch. The officer's eyes narrowed. Attempted address change, he repeated. Sonia didn't dramatize it. It's in the audit log, she said. Station ID, timestamp, and login used. My father's face tightened. This is harassment, he said. Sonia looked at him once, cool and flat. No, she said, this is documentation. Dana returned quietly with a sealed envelope and a printout. She handed it to Sonia, who handed it to the officer. The officer scanned it, then looked up. Logan used was Kevin Rourke, he said. Kevin, who had been hovering near the side of the lobby this entire time, flinched. My mother's head snapped toward him. My father's eyes narrowed like he was warning Kevin without speaking. Marla didn't look at Kevin at all. She kept her eyes on the officer, trying to control the narrative. That's impossible, Marla said quickly. I never touched a bank computer. Dana spoke before Sonia could. We have camera footage, she said evenly. Time-stamped. You at his station at 11:18. Marla's smile twitched. My mother's tears stopped midstream for half a second. The officer turned toward Marla again. Ma'am, he said, do you have any reason to be at a bank employee station? Marla's voice tightened. I was leaning over to point something out, she said. That's all. Dana didn't raise her voice. You typed, she said. We can see your hands. Sonia stepped closer to the officer. We also have a separate log, she said. An internal override request to release the wire this morning. It was denied because the fraud hold was active. The officer looked at Martin. Wire amount, he asked. Martin's jaw tightened. $240,000, he said. My mother made a small sound in her throat like she'd forgotten to play confused and accidentally played caught. My father's expression stayed tight and controlled, but his eyes flicked once toward the exit. The officer looked at me. Miss Hale, he said, I'm going to ask you a question, and I need a simple answer. Did you authorize your parents to refinance your beach house? No, I said. Did you authorize them to receive cash-out proceeds? He asked. No, I said again. He nodded once. Okay, he replied. Then he turned back toward my parents and Marla, and his tone shifted from customer service police to this is now a case. Ma'am, he said to Marla, I'm going to ask you to provide identification. Marla's smile returned too quickly. Of course, she said, reaching into her bag. My mother jumped in. She's helping us, she said brightly. She's a professional. The officer didn't respond to professional. He responded to what he could prove. He took Marla's ID, glanced at it, then spoke quietly into his radio. Dana's tablet chimed with a new incoming alert from security, an internal message. Dana glanced down, then looked up at Sonia. The other branch called back, she said quietly. The second property attempt, they have the same closer name, same company credential. Sonia's posture sharpened. Pattern, she murmured. The officer heard it anyway. Second property attempt, he repeated. Sonia nodded once. Not your jurisdiction, maybe, she said, but it's relevant. Coastal Signings is appearing across multiple irregular files. The officer's gaze settled on Marla again, and something in his face changed. Recognition, not suspicion. When he looked down at Marla's ID, then back up and said very calmly, Ms. Keene, do you know you're already listed in a financial crimes bulletin? Marla's smile froze. My mother's mouth opened slightly. My father went still. And the officer's next sentence landed like a door locking. I need you to stay right here, he said to Marla, because a detective is on the way, and this file is about to get a lot bigger than your little closing packet. The detective arrived the way real consequences arrive, quiet, fast, and without asking anyone's permission. He didn't storm in. He didn't raise his voice. He walked through the bank doors with a notebook in one hand and a badge already out, eyes moving over faces like he was counting exits. Detective Owen Mercer, he said to the officer, then to Sonia. Financial crimes. Marla tried to recover her smile. Detective, this is a misunderstanding. Mercer didn't look at her yet. He looked at Martin. Who's the borrower? He asked. Martin gestured toward me. Tessa Hale, he said. She's the owner on record. She disputes the refinance and the signatures. Mercer's gaze landed on me, calm and direct. Ms. Hale, he said. Did you sign any refinance documents yesterday? No, I answered. Did you authorize anyone to sign for you? He asked. No, I said again. He nodded once like he was checking boxes, not collecting emotion. Then he turned his attention to the machine that mattered most. Show me what you have, he said to Sonia. Sonia didn't give him a speech. She gave him a folder. Audit log printouts, signature comparison notes, wire instructions, the override request, now the address change attempt, and Dana's time-stamped footage reference. Mercer scanned the top page, then looked up at Dana. You have video of her at the workstation, he said, nodding toward Marla. Yes, Dana replied. Time-stamped, clear, she typed. Marla's smile twitched. I leaned over, she said quickly. I was pointing, that's all. Mercer finally looked at her. His eyes were flat. No anger, no warmth. Ma'am, he said, what is your role in this refinance? I'm the closer, Marla replied, too smooth. I facilitate signatures and routing. I don't... You facilitate, Mercer repeated, meaning you handled the package. Yes, she said. And the e-recording submissions, Mercer continued, were sent through your company credential. Marla's lips pressed tight for half a beat. That's normal, she said. That's how e-recording works. Mercer nodded once. It is, he said, which means it's traceable. My mother tried to step in with her sweet tone. Detective, my daughter is confused. Mercer cut her off without raising his voice. Ma'am, he said, still looking at Marla, I'm not taking medical opinions from family members while I'm reading a fraud file. My mother went still. My father's jaw tightened like he didn't like hearing the word fraud spoken out loud. Mercer turned to Martin. Cash out amount, he asked. $240,000, Martin said. Mercer's eyes flicked to the wire page. Beneficiary, he asked. Martin hesitated, then said it cleanly. The wire instructions route to an account named Seabright Consulting. Beneficiary line shows D. Hale. My father's eyes flashed. Detective, he said, low and firm. Nah, this is harassment. That's my business account. Mercer held up one hand, not to silence him forever, just to stop him from flooding the record with noise. You can explain later, Mercer said. Right now, you're going to stop talking. My father's mouth tightened, but he stopped. Mercer turned back to me. Ms. Hale, he said, do you want to pursue charges? Yes, I replied, and my voice didn't shake. I want the refinance canceled, my parcel protected, and an investigation opened. Mercer nodded once. Good, he said, because this isn't a civil disagreement. This is attempted mortgage fraud with a planned diversion of funds. Marla's smile cracked slightly. Attempted, she echoed, like she wanted to cling to the word. Mercer didn't argue. Attempted is still criminal, he said. Then he moved, efficient. When he asked Martin for the branch station ID log, he asked Sonia for the internal fraud case number. He asked Dana to preserve the footage and produce a certified copy. He asked for Kevin. Kevin stepped forward from the side of the lobby looking pale, eyes darting toward my parents, like he was searching for permission to speak. Mercer studied him for 1 second. Were you threatened? He asked. Kevin swallowed. No, he said too fast. Mercer's tone didn't change. Were you pressured? He corrected. Kevin's throat moved again. His eyes flicked to Marla, then away. She kept saying the wire had to go out today, Kevin muttered. She said she'd worked with the bank before. She said she knew people. Mercer nodded once. Did she touch your workstation? He asked. Kevin hesitated. Dana didn't speak. She didn't need to. The camera already had the answer. Kevin's voice came out small. Yes, he admitted. She leaned over. She typed something. I thought she was just pulling up the file. Mercer turned to Marla. You typed under his credentials, he said. Marla's smile returned, strained. That's not illegal, she snapped. I was trying to fix the file. Mercer's eyes stayed flat. It becomes illegal when the file is fraudulent, he said. And you knew it was because you layered authority. Sonia's head lifted slightly. Layered authority, she echoed. Mercer nodded. Deed of trust, he said, counting off. Limited power of attorney. Borrower affidavit. Address change attempt. That's not fixing. That's hiding. My mother's voice rose again, trying to pull the room back into her orbit. This is ridiculous, she cried. Wait, we're her parents. Mercer turned toward her, calm as a locked door. And you're also the people trying to extract $240,000 from her property, he said. So your title doesn't help you. My mother's tears stopped on the spot. My father took one step backward like he was recalculating. Mercer spoke into his radio. Short, precise phrases. Then he looked up. Marla Keene, he said, I'm detaining you pending further investigation. I'm also requesting a warrant for your phone and any devices used to submit these e-recording instruments. Marla's eyes widened. Detaining me? She snapped. For what? Doing my job? Mercer didn't flinch. "For your role in a fraudulent refinance," he said, "and for manipulating a bank workstation to attempt an address change while the borrower disputed the file." Marla's voice rose. "This is insane." The officer stepped closer. "Ma'am," he said evenly, "turn around." Marla looked at my parents like she expected them to rescue her. My father didn't move. My mother didn't move. Because my parents only love people when those people are useful. Marla's shoulders tightened. Then she turned, jaw clenched, and the cuffs clicked. The sound hit my mother differently than it hit me. It didn't sound like justice to her. It sounded like risk. My father tried one last time to control the outcome. "Detective," he said, "you can't treat us like criminals." Mercer looked at him. "Then stop acting like one," he replied. He turned to me again. "Miss Hale," he said, "Now, your parents are not being arrested at this second unless we establish probable cause for their direct participation beyond the attempted wire destination." My father's posture relaxed for half a breath. Then Mercer continued, "But we're going to establish it." He held up the wire instructions page. "This doesn't route to Coastal Signings," he said. "It routes to a beneficiary tied to your father's name." My father's face tightened again. Mercer pointed to the county hold paperwork. "And the e-recording submission is tied to the closer credential," he said. "But who benefits from the cash out is clear." My mother tried to laugh like it was harmless. "That's just how paperwork gets done," she said too brightly. Mercer's eyes stayed flat. "No," he said. "That's how theft gets disguised." Then he looked at Sonia. "You have fraud counsel," he said. Sonia nodded. "Already engaged," she replied. "Good," Mercer said. "I want immediate written confirmation that the bank is rescinding the refinance, preventing disbursement, and preserving all internal logs." Martin nodded. "Done," he said. "Funds were never released." Mercer looked back at me. "You did the right thing coming in fast," he said. "If you'd waited, that wire would have moved." I didn't smile. I didn't thank him like it was a favor. "I want my home protected," I said. Mercer nodded once. "We'll get you there," he replied. 2 hours later, I sat in a small interview room at the station with Detective Mercer and a records tech who scanned my folder page by page. I gave a statement that sounded boring, because boring is what wins in fraud cases. Dates, times, who called me, what Martin said, and what the county clerk saw, what Marla did at the workstation, what the wire instructions showed. Mercer didn't need me to guess motives. He needed me to confirm facts. When I finished, he slid a paper across the table. "Protective measures," he said. "Credit freeze, property fraud watch, and I recommend a no-contact order." "I'll file," I said. He nodded once. "Good." The next morning, Harbor Point's legal counsel sent written confirmation. The refinance was formally rescinded and canceled for fraud. The cash out never disbursed. The deed of trust submission was flagged and stopped. The county recorder's office kept the hold in place until the bank's rescission documents were recorded, and the fraudulent Q was rejected. A week later, weren't the consequences stopped feeling like a scary day at the bank and started looking like what it really was? Marla Keene's company credential was suspended. Her e-recording access was revoked. A warrant was executed on her office devices, and investigators connected her to other irregular files across multiple properties. She was charged with felony mortgage fraud-related offenses and conspiracy because the pattern wasn't an accident and the footage wasn't deniable. My father didn't get to hide behind his calm voice either. The LLC account that was set to receive the wire became evidence, not a shield. The investigation tied the attempted cash-out diversion directly to him, and he was charged for his role in the scheme. My mother was charged as well once the bank footage and appointment logs confirmed their participation in presenting the forged packet and attempting to pressure staff during the hold. They didn't get a slap on the wrist. They got court dates, No contact conditions, restitution orders, and the kind of legal record they'd spent their lives trying to keep off themselves while putting it on me. And my beach house, my one quiet place, stayed mine. Not because I begged, but because the paper trail finally matched reality. A month later, I drove to the beach house alone and stood in the doorway for a long time without stepping in. Not because I was afraid of the house, because I was letting my body relearn that it was safe. The locks were changed, my credit was frozen, the county fraud watch was active. And every time I thought about what could have happened, I remembered the only thing that mattered. The wire never moved. If your parents tried to refinance your property behind your back, would you confront them first? Or go straight to the bank and county office like I did? Tell me what you'd do in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.